Alright, our next question is the most common question, which most of you know that the question, there are about 5 to 6 common questions that are asked at an interview, and the one that we are going to mention now is why should we hire you? One of the main and common questions that you will be asked at an interview. So, why should we hire you? Again, in a class, when I ask students who are going through interview preparation, I often ask them, my style usually is first ask the student what is their answer and then give the appropriate answer to them. Don't teach them straight away how to answer this question. So in your case, just take a few minutes of time and ask yourself, why should the interviewer hire you? What qualifies you to be hired by this company? What is your question? What is your answer? Just try to ask yourself. Just take a few moments of time. Why should the company hire you? You have the number one would be your qualifications. When I say qualification, I want to talk about academics. Probably if you are looking for a system administrator's position, you want to tell them that you are a BTech graduate. Okay, you have completed your BTech. What is the second thing? Now, qualification is the main thing. Like always, when I give an example, the example will make it very, very easy on you to understand. It is like a case study. So, our case study would be, let's take system, the position of a system administrator. Number one is you are a graduate, okay, BTech graduate. Number two, what is the second thing that will qualify you? This is not enough. This is important, but it is not enough. So you move on with your strengths. Why do we need to have these inner strengths? Because it is not only the degree, it is not only what we have studied, but also the soft skills which involve even your inner strengths. So what are your strengths that will make you, even during difficult tasks, during difficult challenges, during a challenging time at your workplace, this will help you to hold on to your job, to hold on to your assignment. So that is why your strengths are important. Number three, if you have done any kind of certification related to the position that you are applying for, anything related to the position you are applying for, this work experience, but we are not addressing only the experienced professional, but since we are also addressing the freshers, this could be there. If you have work experience, it can come somewhere here also, all right? But if you are a fresher, then you need this, all right? So we are going to mention 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have work experience, I would say you have a great advantage, all right? So we will start with qualifications. So how will you mention? I am a BTech, or you could even say I have completed my BTech with completed my BTech with 75%. Why the percentage? As you know, it is obvious. They will know that they can grade you at what level you are, what depending on the percentage that you have got. It shows how hard you have worked and how brighter you are, right? So you can mention, I have completed my BTech with 75%. Number 2, if you have work experience, I will just mention it here. I have worked with AB computers for 2 years. Okay, now this is not enough. You need to convince them that you have worked with this company and that you have relevant experience to apply for this position. So you can mention my responsibilities were, and what were your responsibilities? You will have to write at least 3 bulleted points. And you have, in the course of these 2 years, during these 2 years, have you achieved anything? Have you achieved, have you received an increment? Have you received a promotion during these 2 years, or for as long as you were there with the company? Were you recognized for some special quality of yours, for some special strength of yours, for some work or for some task, for some project? Were you recognized by the company? You will have to mention it here, because that will add value to your answer, because this is what is hiring. Why should we hire you? This question is focusing on your professional ability. So if you have work experience, if you have been recognized by the company for some special talent, for some special task assigned to you where you really did well, or if you have received any promotion, you have received any increment during the course of time, please mention it, because like I said, I'm going to repeat it, it is going to add value to your answer. Number 3, what about your certification if you have? Now what we are going to do is we are going to answer one question, the same question we are going to answer for experienced people. So I will go by the experience of a person, and number 2, the second set of answer will be for freshers. So have you done any certification? So in that case, if you have, I have completed a course in dash certification. All right, if you are already certified, for example, if there is an exam for the certification and you have already given the exam for the certification, you've already got the results, then you can say I have received a certification for so and so course. But if you have not answered the exam, you can only say I have completed a course in dash certification. All right, until the time you're able to answer and get the certification, you can just mention this, I have completed a course, which will still help because you have already received knowledge and information, coaching on that subject. So it will help a lot to add over here. The last thing that we can mention is about your strengths, which also qualifies you. For example, there are 2 people, both are well groomed, both have BTech with 75%. Both have certification, both have 2 years experience. So what else? What will differentiate those two candidates? It is their inner strengths. All right. So one can be very disciplined, one can be very punctual, one can be very calm during challenging situation. The other person may not have those qualities. So finally, your strengths is what will also qualify you to be hired at an interview, because you possess those qualities. All right. So inherent qualities is what we call them. So I call them inner strengths. So what are your strengths? Like your strengths could be you have unique problem solving ability, you are calm during challenging times, you motivate yourself when you not necessarily if you're going through a discouraging time, if you're going through a difficult time, but what about when you come back from work? Work can be very tiring. All day working can be very tiring. So when you come back from home, come home from work, how do you motivate yourself? Do you just shout at everybody around? Do you sit with a very grumpy face? Do you throw things around saying you're so tired? Or you just freshen yourself up and you watch TV or you read something? You motivate yourself and you keep yourself calm even though you are tired, or probably something has happened which is challenging at the workplace. So depends on your personality, depends on your inner strength. Are you able to motivate yourself? Are you able to keep yourself calm? Are you able to tell yourself it's all right, just relax? All right. So this is where the inner strengths will help you. So you could say, I am a calm, self-motivating person. I handle my challenges with calmness and logical thinking. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. I am a calm, self-motivating person. I handle my challenges with calmness and logical thinking. What is logical thinking? You are not hurrying up, you are not rushing up when you have to make a decision. You are thinking logically, you are keeping your mind alert, you are seeing what is the best result that can be achieved through this situation. What can be the best way this situation can be handled? And so you are consulting your brain to take the right decision. That is called logical thinking. So you're going to mention this as your strength. Your strength can be, here we have mentioned as self-motivating, calm, logical thinking. These are your inner strengths. But they can be many. It can be hardworking. I stretch many hours. I like to work beyond my work hours so that I can complete my deadlines. It can be like I keep repeating, please ask yourself. You don't have to mention somebody else's inner strengths, because everybody is unique and everybody will have inner strengths, especially if you are focused on building your career. You will know that you do have inner strengths which are good. So you could mention those, like a team player, if you have many friends, if you can get along well with the management, if you can get along well with your colleagues, and even if they shout, you don't give much attention to it, you just shrug it off, then you are a team player, you are a friendly person, you can work in a team, and that's to your advantage. That is a very good quality. Secondly, you are honest. If you made a mistake, you just rectify it, you just apologize for it, and you learn not to repeat that mistake. You go and tell the management about it. That is also another good quality. Like I said, friendly person, you get along well with the people. Unique problem solving ability. Everybody comes to you when there is a challenge, when there is a situation, they consult you, which means you do have a unique problem solving ability. All these are your inner strengths which you could mention here. Now after this we have mentioned your academics, your percentage, your work experience, we have mentioned if you have any certification. Now we are mentioning your inner strengths. After this, what? Okay, there is one more thing. We can talk about I like to work hard and I am determined to succeed in life. Or probably we could put this down. Let me see how it sounds. I am determined to succeed in life. So, I am willing to learn the trade well and work hard to see myself successful. See myself successful. So what are we saying? I am determined to succeed in life. So I am willing to learn the trade well. What is the trade? The trade is your job. I am willing to learn the trade well and work hard. Work hard to see myself successful. And I'm willing to work hard to see myself successful. So these are two things which can make you successful in life if you're focused on learning the job very well, and secondly willing to work hard to put in your effort and your work experience or your skills to bring success to yourself. All right, so this is a very long answer, but it is also a very, very important answer that you're going to give. You can also start this way. You don't have to rush through the answer. Some of the questions are very, very important, and it is all right as long as you make sense. If you are going to take time, you could be very honest as they ask you this question, why should we hire you? Now, it is one of the most important questions that I have already repeated it. You can take some time, you can take a few seconds to think about it, and you can also be straightforward in telling the interviewer, this is a very challenging question, but I'm going to try my best to give a best answer. All right, so in that way you are being very straightforward, very, very honest, and you're going to talk about number one is your qualifications, number two, if you are experienced, your work experience, what were your responsibilities, and if you have achieved anything during that course of time, even your increment or your promotion. Third would be, we have already mentioned the certification, if any, something related to the position that you have applied for, and next would be your inner strengths, and then your willingness to succeed. All right, once you have made a list of all of this for yourself, before you answer this question at an interview, you need to answer it to yourself. Now, if you go point by point, as I have mentioned to you, you will know that you have done many courses, or at your workplace, with your work experience, you have learned much, your responsibilities were this, and you have the inner strengths different unique inner strengths, or they may be even common strengths, and your willingness. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do in order to get success for yourself at your workplace? So once you have made a list of all of this, after consulting yourself, you can come up with the best answer, and I'm sure you will come up with a good answer by asking yourself this question, because it is a very prominent question that can be asked at an interview, based on which they will be able to see how suitable you are for this job. All right, now we have to, this is the answer for the experienced people. What about the freshers? The only thing that will be missing in this is your work experience. For freshers, there is no work experience. When an interviewer calls, when you get an interview, most of the time they know that you are a fresher. All right, it is not a hidden secret or something. So they know that you are a fresher. But just if they ask you that question, but you don't have any work experience, if they raise that point, they want to see, they already know, probably your resume says everything, yet they have raised that point that you don't have work experience. How do you logically handle that question? When you know and the interviewer knows that there is no experience involved here. So the way you answer that question is what is going to prove it to them that you are a suitable candidate despite the lack of work experience, which they are not looking at. If they have called you for an interview, they know that you already don't have experience. That is the reason they have already called you. That means they want to give you a chance. So here the work experience will be missing, but everything else will be the same, like your academics, your percentage, your certification, any courses if you have done, and then will come your inner strengths. Now, as far as inner strengths are concerned, you need to ask yourself, what am I good at? How do you mention your inner strengths? If you say you are punctual, but you are always late to work, that does not match. So don't go for something that you're not. I'm sure every person, like I said, has an inner strength, an unique quality, a good quality, especially if you are trying to build your career. That means you do have a good quality. That is why you are making an effort, you're working hard towards building your career, and you will have some qualities that you can mention. What about your willingness? Everybody wants to be successful, just that sometimes we don't know how to put it across, that we just give me a chance and I will work hard. So we don't know how to say that. So this is how we are going to say it. I am determined to succeed in life, so I am willing to learn the trade well and work hard to see myself successful. And if you give me a chance, I will be able to prove my willingness and contribute my skills towards the company's success as well as my own personal success. Do you want me to repeat that? If you give me a chance, I will prove myself by working hard and contribute my skills to the company's success as well as my personal success. So it is a long answer, I understand, but it is required in order for you to be able to present yourself well. Now that we have answered for both experienced as well as freshers, I want to tell you something about this answer because it is such an important answer.